The Dire get a ban.
Radiant's turn to ban.
Dire's ban now.
Radiant's turn to ban.
Excuse me.
Dire's ban now.
Radiant's turn to pick.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 of this best of 3 series between Top and Lotac. It is, of course, MLP Dota, joined by John X5. John, have you noticed any static on the microphone?
I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, but I didn't notice it on the stream. I did mention we met. We talked about this yesterday, didn't we? In our downtime.
Oh, yes. That was only between you and me.
Yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
Why is it on the stream as well? I didn't quite notice, Mike.
Dire's turn to pick.
I haven't seen anyone else really say anything, but somebody did. Unfortunately, I don't have much time to test because the game literally just started. Alright, well look, let's go into the draft. I'll have a look while we're looking into the draft to see if there's anything going on in the background that I could change up. Tigers though, John. Earthshaker the pickup, Lotac go for the silencer.
Yeah, good counter to the Earthshaker. As long as you get the jump first, you can always make sure that the Echo Slam does not come out. And, that's always pretty strong. We've seen silencers do a lot of work in the past few days, really. We've seen it pop out every now and again. And despite having a rough early game where you don't really stack up the int, you're always going to be relevant with Global Silence. It's also a pretty good laning support, just a really good amount of harass, forcing people to pop too much regen to really sustain the lane, and, just bullying people out of lane that way. So, a good hero to pick up. Lotac also goes back to that Necrophos, which has done a lot of work, and still a relatively popular pick, really good. But Tigers goes with the Necrophos counter. Pugna.
Very nice one at that as well. For Ohio, I was watching him the other day playing a Necrophos game, and he was struggling a bit. I imagine with the Earthshaker Pugna, he's not going to have the greatest time in the world either. Then again, I say he was struggling that last game we won, and then turns it around with his pick. Kind of like
5 seconds remaining.
He may struggle a bit, but ultimately with the Necro, it's just like, get the Reaper Scythe off on who you need to get it off on, and you'll be... It's fine.
Yeah, definitely so. There is a bit more push coming out from Tigers. The Pugna does push a bit better. Necrophos really doesn't contribute too much to that siege, to the high ground siege, to taking objectives. It just doesn't really do anything to buildings. So they're gonna need someone that can, maybe at least one hero that can really push down buildings. Because this Pugna will also, for a Tiger side, it can melt buildings pretty fast, even with just the Pugna is pretty potent.
Lotac now with the 5th ban, and we'll get to see what the game plan is. Either team. I do agree with your sentiment though. Lotac certainly need a hero that can siege well.
10 seconds.
I just have it.
5 seconds remaining.
I do like the Nyx ban out. Yeah, I do like the Nyx ban out from Tigers. It's a fairly good hero against the Pugna. Pugna does have a very high int gain. Very easy to stun him with your Spike Carapace. And, you can always catch him out with Vendetta as well. Pugna doesn't really do too much against the Nyx, so nice ban out for Tigers, really just protecting their Pugna pick, making sure their counter pick isn't counter picked by Lotac.
You know, funny thing, Io has been banned as well, so if they wanted to, they could run that. Well, I mean, I doubt they will because they've already got the Earthshaker Pugna, but they could have run that that Io Pugna.
We did see it yesterday, and you know it's pretty scary. You know, just the amount of sustain you can pump out to your core, whoever IO's teeter to, or if you're meming, if IO teeters to Pugna and you life drain IO while he's overcharged, he gets a lot of attack speed, and you really don't lose HP. Neither of you lose HP from life drain. And IO can push fast. That's if you run a core IO, which is very, very, very rare, Mike.
Yeah, but it is something special when it finally comes out. Don't let your, don't let the meme
5 seconds remain. Radiant's turn to pick.
follow the meme. Us coming out from Lotac, so they do have a bit of lockdown. I personally love the task. Obviously we know, John, it has been nerfed a lot, but it's similar to the Earthshaker. You can nerf him as much as you want. The problem really is with the hero is they can change the terrain of the map temporarily.
Yeah, it definitely works out that way. I think the reason why you definitely see Earthshaker much more than Tusk is, you know, as a map-changing spell, Earthshaker's just that much better. In team fights as well, Earthshaker's that much better because of Echo Slam. Tusk, he's been in and out. Really, we saw a lot of him. Sometimes we see him pop back in, but only by a few teams. It's, you know, it's always there in the background, but definitely not in the spotlight like Earthshaker is. I think the potency of shards, its emphasis is really on that early game. Unlike Shaker, where it's definitely much more relevant throughout a longer period of time. The shards are always good, but, you know, it's much easier to block someone off with Fissure.
Tigers now third pick up. Their draft's still, like, it's still very open. It's hard to tell what kind of route they're going to be taking this game. Let's see what their first up will be on this Radiant end.
You know, the Tusk into Earthshaker as well, it's kind of iffy. Like, you can make some big plays by saving someone. At the same time, Echo Slam is near instant cast. So your timing has to be, you have to preempt the slam coming out, and you have to be careful if you snowball in, because you don't want to drag 5 people into Earthshaker in a snowball and then end up getting Echo Slam. We've seen what happens when you group up in an Echo Slam, Mike.
You're telling me you have to play like FY?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's pretty hard. That level of Tusk is pretty ridiculous, but I'm sure the side of Lotac will pull it off. We do see Tigers, however, a core Prophet, I believe. Unless it... No, in fact, it could be a support next Prophet, a core Pugna. What do you think? Are they running a core Nature's Prophet?
5
Hard to say. For Southeast Asia, it's been a while since I've seen the Nature's Prophet pick up in C, but I do believe Tigers have been running it every now and again. I want to say that's gonna be... a support? It's gonna be Earthshaker and NP on support. But that's a bit greedy. It just doesn't feel right. Because the Earthshaker definitely wants farm, but Nature's Prophet will also be soaking up a lot of farm himself. I don't think that balances right.
5 seconds remaining.
Bring up a quick concern for the side of Lotac. Broodmother's still available. Tiger. So, and I don't see any wave clear for the Spiderling, so that could be pretty painful for Lotac if it's up. I've also got that. I mean, I wouldn't say you want to go Husker, but it's available for that route, but that would probably be not. But the Broodmother seems like it'd be alright in this situation.
Yeah, it would look okay here. I mean, they have the Earthshaker for themselves, they have the Nature's Prophet as well, and the Pugna, so they can apply a lot of map pressure. You know, just pushing, taking down towers really fast. Tigers does pick up a Morphling as well. which, you know, it's really potent here. We've seen this here do a lot of work in the Southeast Asian qualifiers. Up against a Terrorblade, it should be happy, I think. You could probably steal Metamorphosis
10 seconds
by
left
morphing into Terrorblade, casting Meta, and shifting back to yourself.
5
You
seconds
keep the buff,
remaining.
so I guess you might be able to keep the damage buff as well. I'm not sure about that one.
Radiant's turn to ban.
Kind of like
really
Black Cannon.
ridiculous.
It does.
Yeah. That's gonna hurt if that's the case. I personally haven't seen the Morphling vs Terrorblade matchup too much, so I don't know how that works between. Well, we're gonna find out. So at the very least, it gets exciting. Tigers final ban out now. By the way, Lotac, shout out to them for banning out Tinker.
10
Nobody wants to see
seconds.
Tinker. Probably should.
Radiant's turn to pick.
The Husker is the final ban, and Tigers pick up the Conker.
Oh boy. Yeah. This is you know, it's gonna be hard to kill again because that boat buff is immense and you have Pugna for healing. I think the main thing here is that their split push is gonna be really strong. Kunkka can split push as well if he has his own boots of travels, just X mark himself, go into a lane, shove it out, and go back home.
10 seconds.
Relatively safe. Until, of course, Lotac buys
5
Yules,
seconds.
and then it's not
What
quite
will
safe.
it be?
But there's a certain period of time where you can just split push safely as Kunkka. Nature's Prophet split pushes quite well, of course, and the Pugna can shove out lanes quite nicely. So the push potential from Tigers is really good. The durability is there, given by Kunkka. The team fight's there from Earthshaker. Pugna's there with the Nether Ward to really break off any big initiation. And they have really good scaling with Morphling, so I do like Tigers draft this time. It does look much better than game 1, but
Choose your
Lotac
hero.
goes with the Ohio Batrider.
Rough, but I mean, I don't want to say weird, but it's just it feels weird. Like there's a lot of heroes that aren't necessarily amazing. I don't know. How do you feel about this draft from the guys' side?
It's definitely odd. It's definitely odd, but we did, you know, game 1, their draft was also odd, Mike, and they made it work really well. So I wouldn't doubt Lotac too hard now. Maybe this is something they've practiced in scrims, something they keep pocketed up. I can see it snowballing off in the early game. Definitely stronger in that early game area, I think. But they don't want to force it late. Not against a Morphling. Sure, you have the Terrorblade as well, but I think overall the Morphling just grows much, much bigger than the TB at some point. I don't know, it's a toss-up. Again, it's not a matchup we've seen too much of, Terrorblade against Morphling. At least not much of in a while.
Oh, we've got an interesting game.
I just wanted to point out, Mike, it's 1437 Nature's Prophet.
Okay, so support nature.
Yeah. I'm not sure about that. Again, because you have Zephyr on that Earthshaker, he's gonna have to be making plays as a pause 4, but Nature's Prophet is really not a selfless support.
That is a good point. Like this is very it's a greedy lineup. Like there's no doubting that. Everyone on the team certainly wants quite a bit of farm and level before they really start going. Mind you, later on in the game, yeah, they're going to be a problem. There's no doubting that. But let's see if Tigers can pull this off and push game 3. Otherwise, of course, Lotac, they definitely want to be able to try and...
Warriors of the wood.
They're not going to have a courier for the next 2 minutes. It's going to be hard to contest this mid lane now. Time to have that regen coming in. They will try to punish 1437 at the bot lane, and it looks like he will just end up dropping here. Ohio managing to get away from there safely. Fine. Raven will also be fine. Now AU is here as well. Snowball will be there on the Earthshaker. Will it actually connect though or not? But the shards will. Fisher is there, but he blocks himself into the actual shards. He will try to TP out, and he will do so successfully. AU already commits that snowball, so there was no further stun left. Meanwhile, Ohio ends up dropping at the bot lane, and we see In Your Dream making his first rotation.
Rotate in, but In Your Dream still keeps doing that himself, getting plays done by himself.
Top lane, a bit of a mistake from AU. He missed the shards on Moon Meander, and now he might lose his own life because of it. Trying to make a run for it. Zephyr is there with the enchant totem hit, and the Fisher as well. Zephyr will pick that one up for himself. Of course, any kill for Zephyr right now is going to help a lot because he's trying to farm a Pepper of his own. Meanwhile, bot lane, Ajit actually chasing the Batrider into the Batrider form, and Ajit will find the kill. Ohio with the double knots. It was pretty hilarious using Sticky Napalm and Firefly against the Batrider. Meanwhile,
Yeah, that's balanced.
Top lane, Raven getting very, very low. He does have the Sunder Snowball if they want to Sunder Lumianda immediately, and they will do so. Raven, he's still in massive trouble, but AEU should be able to get the kill. In fact, Raven does now. He wants to get out, but the Fisher barely connects. Zephyr, he has to get out of here safely now as well. Yamate is there with the Arcane Curse, but now he's in trouble. He does want through it. That'll be it. Call for a call.
There.
Top lane. AU trying to dodge a gank.
Dire's top
They're
tower
fucking
needs some
chase.
friends.
Over.
Brilliant speak, very frustrating. AU looks like he would end up dropping, and they get the T1 as well. Ohio, meanwhile, drops bot lane, and AU still alive, but he will finally end up dying. And Ohio again dies second time to Into a Dream and the Morph.
His Fairblade is clearing that out himself as well.
Dire's bottom tower is
Okay.
about to flounder.
One, they're trying to go after Arjit, but AU is in trouble. Snowball is there. The Reapers is available, but Arjit is quite hard to kill. His strength more than throughout all this now. Stun him up.
Half? 4. Right now he has around 3. Shards are great, snowballs there, and waveforms there. And that's really balanced, Mike.
Mid lane, they are going to be able to find the Necro, so Swan getting ganked up, and they might just push this mid lane with the Pugna. Greens are there for the next pop as well. No backup protection for these ones, and they'll get started immediately. Yamate is there with AU, but they can't defend this on their own. They need at least one core to help them out here. And it looks like they aren't cupping, and now Yamate going to be in trouble. Snowball does not get there in time, but Yamate will be alright. Now the Fisher as well.
Dire's middle tower just
Dropping.
got
And a
knocked
quick
down.
smoke coming out straight away. Tigers, look who they're going to run into. 4 Ohio is there trying to farm up. Meanwhile, 1437 apparently going down to Raven on that
Dire are
Turblade.
scanning for enemies.
Ohio, I wonder if he realizes how much trouble he's in right now. Well, now he definitely does, because he's been X'd up by In Your Dream. Gets stunned up with the torrent, and Moon Meander will just suck him dry. Killing spree for the Pugna. And I'd hate to say it for the third time, but that Blink Dagger delayed even more.
Yeah, it's not going to be good timing for this blink. I mean, Ohio just has no space to farm right now. Again, Raven is the priority. They're giving him most of the safe, and I mean that's the way it has to go. The Terrorblade definitely takes priority.
Therefore, forward out, Raven. I'm going to find himself a nice pick off. In fact, no, they'll use the Reapers to get that one.
Dire's top tower
Well,
is
we'll pick that one
about
up
to
for
take
himself.
the plunge.
Just what, 500 gold away from blink. And once he has that up, I think he's happy.
What do we need? Start to escalate once that blink is available. Ajit diving quite deep for Yamate. He does not get him. The Walrus Punch is there. Shards will end up connecting. A nice more from Ajit. Now can he get out though? Chuan will get snowballed on. The boat comes in as well. It will connect on Chuan. Ajit still fighting around in that morph form. And Chuan is starting to fall very, very low, although he does keep himself up. But here comes Moon Meander on that Pugna. And Chuan somehow alive still through all of this, but he is going to end up dropping eventually. And now the tier 2 bot tower will be the target.
Dire's
And it
bottom
will be a very
tower
easy
is about
target
to flounder.
for After Tigers to take down.
Dire's bottom
Yeah, it
tower
doesn't take them
will
too long to push down
die.
towers now. Again, with that Pugna,
Withstand the
with
tide.
Nature's Prophet.
Hey, you trying to find somebody. Dream, gonna scout this out. He is in that induce right now, and Ohio managed to get the lasso. They want to go straight onto Moon Meander. Meanwhile, in the backlines, they do go after the Earthshaker, and Zephyr is in massive, massive trouble. It looks like he would try and fish it through this, but he does end up dropping. They go for even more. Nobody's really left, so 2 go down for nothing. Lotac gonna be very happy about that.
He can't fight.
What lane? 1437 ends up dropping, but Ohio takes his own life away for it. It's hard to know whether these skills are worth it. I mean, that's a position 5 Nexus Prophet down for the sake of 3 Batrider. It certainly doesn't seem very worthwhile for Ohio to take that kill.
plus Mr. In Your Dream, so they get a little bit more out of that.
Gonna find AU as well on that cusp. He does have a snowball and he actually goes up the ancients, but no! It drops him back down.
He was X-marked anyway.
Yeah.
You know he was gonna get out of that one. Dropping down the Nether Blast and that tower just melts.
Dire's top
Play, right? Like, why risk your team?
Yeah, that's really the power of Pokemon. Oh, you know, Chuan?
Oh, well, the Lapso comes in to help out, so Chuan available for the moment. Nice chance! Wants everyone in the boat.
Oh no,
Help out. 1437. He will end up dropping now. In Your Dream going after AU. Ohio, there's the global silence. AU should end up dropping, and he will, and it looks like Lotac. They can't follow up on the silence. Now Chuan just trying to back off to safety. The life drain is there, the X was there as well. Bishop barely connects, and Chuan, he will end up dropping to Arjit. It looked so bad for Tigers once that shards came out into the global silence, John, but they just could not finish.
Risk dragging out your Turbo there. If you can take a fight 4v5, take it. Because you want your Turbo to grow bigger for it. A bit more. I think the... Oh.
Ohio. My goodness. Oh, they give it the echo.
Ohio.
Yeah. You can blink, sir, but you ran back in and you gave the opening. Zephyr says thank you very much.
You know, in that last fight by this ramp, Mike, this ramp by the tier 2, I think the key issue was that the shards was amazing. Ohio threw them out with a flame break.
Oh, did he really? I didn't
Yes,
spot that.
they were inside, and then he pushed 2 of them out. They could have cleaned up.
They found AU as well in the mid lane, and he just, Moon Meander with that life train, just doing so much damage with the Decrepify.
full roots and run.
Things are getting better and better for Tigers. Raven just trying to hide in some trees right now.
Raven?
They're gonna spot him.
Oh,
Raven.
no.
He runs towards the shrine. The Bishop was there though, Zephyr. And they burst in. The Manta is there, Ohio to save the day. The Metamorphosis, they'll take up the Earthshaker. Now Meander actually gets him, just barely. Trying to find the return, but here comes In Your Dream with the bow torrent. He actually screws up the X though. Pressed it way too early. Meanwhile, 1437 ended up dropping in the backlines again to Ohio.
I would have actually not blamed him if he let Chuan die instead, because you want your Terrorblade to be keeping up.
Speaking of dying, Ohio ends up dying top lane. He was trying to push that creep wave out, but he's unsuccessful in doing so.
Yeah, and you know, again, with that Pugna, it's a relatively safe push.
Radiant's bottom tower
I
faces
mean, look at
Down
that.
by half HP. Now the X torrent again, it's missed though. Yamate walks out of it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Why is he Xing so quickly? Like, is he afraid of the global silence?
I think that might be it. That concept.
Are all across
Radiant's
the map.
bottom tower is under attack.
So, side of Tigers, they might just go for a quick Roshan.
Radiant's bottom tower has rung its
Bot
last
will end
bell.
up dropping, and Raven, he might just keep pushing the tier 3. If they realize the Roshan's being taken, it's just get into Metamorphosis and force them back. The Roshan, though, is going down fairly quickly. And they are not going to push the tier 3 bot, which indicates they have no clue what's going on.
Faces a stiff.
Now Roshan is going to be given away for free to the side of Tigers. Really going to enjoy that, considering he's almost unkillable as it stands already. Just waiting out, then and they smoke up.
Dire's middle tower.
Has actually ended up going down thanks to Moon Meander, and they'll loop around here. Lotac, they understand they got to take a fight sooner rather than later. In Your Dream, he breaks the smoke. He hasn't realized yet though. And have they yet? Zephyr, who's going to be the target? Oh, In Your Dream, what a blink out! And now Arjit, he'll get started on Ohio. This looks really bad for the side of Lotac. Moon Meander getting very, very low. They'll eventually get Raven though, and now Moon Meander, he starts life training. Arjit on a triple kill, they call GG.
24 minutes in?
Did you? Oh, I mean, come on. Did you see In Your Dream? He blinked out immediately after Ohio blinked in to try to lasso him, and then it was just like, what can you do? They're gonna push way too fast.
Yeah, it's a fair point. It's just, you know, it's very different from game 1, wasn't it? Like,